All right, what's up everybody? Appreciate you guys all tuning in. I'm really excited for today's drop. You guys are gonna check out shadowing me on the doors. So this is a lot of footage that's within our online university within Knockstar, but really wanted to break down a video to the ridiculous to show you guys, hey, this is what it takes. You know, in the following video you're about to watch, a lady I never met before, but right off from the very beginning, you know, I told myself this was gonna be a deal, never met her before. Attitude, belief, and conviction. Watch this.
All right, we're about to make a sale. This lady's never talked to us before. Here we go. Watch this. Hi, ma'am. How are you? Sorry to bother you. Are you the owner of the house here? Are you the owner of the house?
Yeah, what it is?
I didn't get a chance to speak with you. I was with all the neighbors all last week. I don't know if you know Janice or Karen. Or Ramey, he lives right here in this yellow house.
All right, so if you notice right off the bat, you know, I'm talking a little bit louder than the normal door-to-door salesman because I want to focus on clarity, right? Clarity and repetition. I've got a big camera behind me, so in this situation, you know, I'm kind of being a little bit I'm loud, I'm not going too close to her, and I noticed she didn't come out to me, she stayed in the back of her garage, you know, so I started to utilize references at this point. You'll notice I'll start to use some references, and that's what's going to engage her to actually have her come out a little bit. Let's keep going.
I don't know if you know Janice or Karen or Ramey, he lives right here in this yellow house. Do you know how you have LCEC here for the electricity?
Yeah, I know what it is.
These guys are just helping me out with a little project, if it's okay with you. So basically...
So pretty much just cut to the chase. You know you have LCEC here for the electricity, right? I didn't give her a chance to say, yes, I'm interested, or no, I'm not interested. I asked her a question I already knew the answer to, right? And I addressed my camera person because she's just staring like, I got a big Netflix camera behind me. So I had to address that as well. Hey, they're just helping me out with a little bit of a project.
If it's okay with you. So basically, last year everybody voted on grid hardening, which changed all the wooden poles out to the metal poles. It was on the ballot and everything. Kind of the way you're involved is all of our power comes from Georgia. It comes from out of state. It goes through something called a...
All right, really focus on my tonality right here, right? Like I have a tonality, look, I really don't care if you do this. And then I want to tell a really good story. Hey, I don't know if you guys remember last year on the ballot, you guys voted on something called grid hardening. I don't know if you noticed right out here on 41, a lot of those wooden poles have been changed up for metal. You kind of like know what I'm talking about. But notice my demeanor and my tonality, right? I'm not like the needy salesperson. I'm just coming across like, hey, this is happening with or without you. This is what happened. And now I'm going to explain to her how she's involved.
All of our power comes from Georgia. It comes from out of state. It goes through something called a transmission substation. And that's why you have all these little fees and surcharges on the utility bill. What I've been doing with a lot of the neighbors.
So this is why you have all these fees and surcharges on the electric bill, right? That's where I start to build a pain, right? All the power comes from out of state. That's where I'm creating that curiosity, right? If I can create curiosity, I know I can create emotion. If I can create curiosity, I know I can create emotion. People are gonna make this decision emotionally and back it up with logic. So if I can build that emotion, I can move myself in the direction of creating the decision, also known as closing.
Charges on the utility bill. What I've been doing with a lot of the neighbors out here is helping them redirect their payments so they own their power, and they completely eliminated the whole bottom half of the electric bill, like all those fees and surcharges. So we've had a...
Notice my body language here, right? Utilizing my hands, utilizing the diction, which is the pace and the range and the volume of my voice. People react to the way that I talk even when they don't understand the words, okay? Now, if you noticed here, I'm starting to build the problem, and now I'm going to go into what the solution is and how she would be involved with that solution.
Surcharges. So we've had a ton of inquiries, and if you notice, a lot of people have been putting up the windmills behind their homes or the solar panels on the roof. They did not win the lottery. They didn't take money out of their checking account. They just realized they could save money immediately on their bills. And you guys get a lot of sunlight on the house all day.
So notice how I subtly brought up solar, right? It wasn't just like, hey, I'm here to do solar right at the very beginning. It's, hey, you might have noticed these people that put up the windmills or like the solar panels on their roof. Oh yes, right? Now I've got her engaged, right? And notice me utilizing glamour words, which is the opposite of nasty words. Nasty words are words like pitch, signature, contract. We want to eliminate those words from our vocabulary and add glamour words, which will build excitement. Notice how I use the word redirect. There's a new program that will allow you to redirect, divert, or shift what you would have given to the utility company back into your own pocket. It's called the equity program. When I make statements like that, my goal is to have illumination happen. It's the aha moment where they're like, wow, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, let's keep going.
Sunlight on the house all day. So what I do is I go through a series of 4 questions. They're called Can We Pay questions. Have you lived here for over or under a year?
Yeah, a little bit more.
All right, the reason.
So now notice how I'm going into questions, right? I'm now fully controlling the conversation, but she feels as if she has control, right? Because I'm guiding it in the direction it needs to go. Have you guys lived here? How many years have you guys lived here? Okay, I go over these questions that will determine whether or not we pick your home. That's how I create the sense of urgency.
Yeah, a little bit more.
All right, the reason being is because we want to talk to people that are vocal. Obviously, we want you to understand the benefits of ownership, and then these are the 10 main reasons people do it. Like I said, the people that put solar up did not win the lottery. They didn't take money out of their checking account. The program would allow you to redirect your payment, so there's $0 that comes out of your pocket. You own your power, you add equity and make your home worth more, and then you take advantage of a tax credit.
Okay.
Do you know
So notice right here, right? What I'm doing is I'm really breaking it down to the ridiculous, and I have the agenda in the direction that I want to go, right? That is so critical at this point of the presentation that she understands how it will work. And now that I've got her to understand it, I focus on my 5 main pillars. Repetition, repeat. Notice how many times I said you redirect. These people didn't win the lottery, right? They didn't take money out of their checking account. Clarity, being very clear with people. A confused mind will always say no. Energy, right? The person with the most energy has the most money. Belief, really believing that this is going to make sense. This is a done deal. The first thing I said is I never talked to this lady. It's going to be a deal, right? I believed. And then service. I want to genuinely help them. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Do you know Alexander Downey? He lives right here on the house on the right. He actually.
I think the people start putting a solar panel, so
Yeah.
I kind of
We've had a ton of inquiries, so that's like mainly the reason. But we just installed one on your street last week for one of the neighbors. Isvilio actually got his installed. So like you can kind of, I always show people this video because like I'm gonna tell you it's good no matter what.
So right here I say, hey, I'm going to tell you it's good no matter what, right? But this is your neighbor. Now what I did earlier in the day is I met a family that got solar installed and I took a video with them. I said, hey, how's it going? My name's Taylor. I'm here with Isvilio. He just got his solar panels installed. Isvilio, did you win the lottery? Did you have to pay a bunch of money to go solar? No, you didn't. Okay, he was able to redirect everything into his piggy bank and owns his power, right? So I had that video queued up to be able to show her because I'm going to tell her it's good no matter what, right? I want to build and gain that trust because if she trusts me, I don't have to deal with any objections. She trusts me.
It's like I'm gonna tell you it's good no matter what. I work for the company, but like.
Yeah, I sold them. Yeah.
So he got it installed, didn't pay anything to have it. What's so unique about your house, and I always just show people, is it okay if we just kind of go in the shade so I can kind of just show you just what it looks like?
It is two.
Where are you from originally?
Ukraine.
Oh yeah? I've never been to Ukraine. But this is.
Yeah, so I definitely never been to Ukraine, but I'm trying to build that commonality and that rapport there. So where are you from originally, right? And if you notice, initially when I first came up and approached her, you know, I was a little bit like this. I was standing back. She was at the back of her garage. But through question-based selling and really making it make sense to her at this point, now she's feeling comfortable with me and I'm showing her her personalized situation. This is where I'm pulling up her roof on a map and showing her where all the sun, you know, goes on her home and where the panels would show up on her house.
Oh yeah? I've never been to Ukraine. But this is you guys. So you guys are right here on the corner. So do you have a pool in the back?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your house. So anywhere on this portion, the front or the right would qualify. All I really need to know is roughly, just roughly, what do you guys spend a month on your power? If you were to say roughly. It's like over or under 100.
140, 150.
140 or 150. So my.
Notice when I soft ask for the electric bill. I don't say, hey, do you have a copy of the bill? I say, hey, roughly, just roughly, do you know roughly how much you guys spend a month on the power? Because I just want to get a number initially.
140 or 150. So my goal would be to turn something that you're paying for rent, or every time you pay the $140, it gets thrown into a dumpster rather than it getting put into a piggy bank where you own everything. If you have a copy of the LCEC bill, what I've been doing with everybody else is I request a design. My engineers would get me a design. It looks something like this. So I just got Teresa's ready. Just so you know, I'm not just like making up your name.
Better if you come one of my hobby home.
Yeah.
Talk to him more.
Do you know? Do you know if you have an electric bill, like an electric bill laying around, like an old one?
Yes.
Hello, this is Taylor.
But I'm on a tight schedule.
Hey, Ed, I'm with the customer.
You know?
Yeah. So, what I can do is, when is your husband gonna be home?
Today will be late. Tomorrow will be. I don't know.
So I'm completely full until next Thursday. The reason I was coming by today is just because I have.
So in this situation, typically I would always try to set it up for later on in the day or the following day. In this situation, I was going out of town for a week, so Thursday was my first availability, and that's when I set this deal up. But typically what I want to do is I want to set it up for as early as possible. What my goal is to take the process as far as I possibly can. Right? If I can do a same day close and I feel good about it and they feel good about it, one touch, I'll do that. If it needs to be 4 touches before we both feel comfortable, then that's how it needs to be. But my philosophy and my kind of rule and principle is to take it as far as I possibly can every single time.
The reason I was coming by today is just because I have to go over the design with Janice and with Karen. What I can do is I can put together a design. I can send you a quick text.
Yeah, sure.
No making any decisions. Just if you have a copy of the LCEC bill, if you can grab that real quick. And then I'm going to put...
I can send it with a text if it's okay.
Yeah, you can. Perfect. I'll just enter it in. I was just saying if you had one laying around, I could put it in right now just to keep it easy.
No, I don't know where it is.
No
but-
problem.
Yeah.
So let me just...
He just make a bill, so where did he put it?
Literally, like I tell everyone, because you've noticed the solar happening, if I go through this process with you and show you how much you're going to save, it's tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I believe
It's
you, yeah.
literally
We
turning
just talk about
rent to
that,
own.
not
So,
so much.
it's at Lana. Your name is Lana.
Ilona.
E-I-L.
So notice right here, what I'm saying is like, if I go through this process, you'll do it 100%. That's an example of how to utilize attitude, belief, and conviction, right? Like I am so certain, I have absolute certainty that if I go through this process with you, you'll do it. It's just the hardest part of my job is timing, right? Have that attitude, belief, and conviction, right? You have to sell yourself before you sell anybody. Okay, now we're talking a little bit about reflex closing. Notice how I asked her what's the correct spelling of her last name, what's her email. Like she wants to do this, right? I don't need to ask her for a design. I don't need to ask her like to come back. Like I believe that she wants to have solar installed on her roof. So now I'm gonna assume the sale transition because she would have told me to kick rocks 3 minutes ago if it didn't make sense to her.
All you gotta do is send me the chart with the utility bill. Okay. I'll stop by this next Thursday of next week. So I'll come back for you Thursday of next week as well. Same thing, like Teresa just did the same thing that you did. She just sent me the picture of the utility bill. I took that chart, I took the average, and then I put together the system that would design that would be, you know, perfect for you.
So notice here what I'm doing is a brief recap. What I want to do is really explain to them the reason this makes sense, and then I want to rebuild the rapport so that appointment sticks.
Start saving money from day one. So what's this guy's name? Marlon. He's ready to get his hair off and get clean. All right, Alana, nice to meet you. I'll see you next Thursday. All right.
All right, so if you guys noticed what happened during that video, I had full confidence, I had composure, I knew this was gonna be a deal beforehand. That's how it works in door-to-door sales, right? This whole game is all up here, it's in this computer, right? If I go out there and say, hey, I'm gonna make plays, I'm gonna execute, right? If you go out there and you're like, hey, I'm just gonna wander around the neighborhood, I'm gonna slump, I hope I get a sale today. No, tell yourself what you're worth, have absolute certainty, cut out your distractions, have myopic vision, right? Tunnel vision. I'm moving forward. I'm gonna live a little bit of temporary imbalance so I can get way ahead in my life. That's what it's all about, being a Knockstar. Selling salesman on selling. A Knockstar, a salesman will sell to live. A Knockstar will live to sell.
Alona, high five. Congratulations, she's going solar with Home Nerds. So it was about 2 months ago. You might have remembered I came up, walked up your driveway, and I had a big camera crew with me.
Yes, I do.
What were you initially thinking when I came up and approached you and talked to you about solar?
We actually being prepared.
You were prepared.
Yeah.
You looked a little bit into going solar, and
Yes,
did
we
you
did.
win the lottery and take a bunch of money out of your checking account?
No, we didn't.
So you redirected and ended up saving money and actually now own your power, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And Alona's got the solar panels installed right here. A big system, 18 kilowatt system. And what would you think was the main reason that you decided to go solar with me?
Well, it was actually pretty cheap. We surprised how cheap it is installation and the panels for us, and it saved us a lot.
Cool. And I had never met you. That first day that I came up was the first time I met you.
That's true, yes.
And you know, part of the process is you really got to be able to help people, make them feel as if they're making the right decision, and you know, really help them understand, and you know, be patient with people. You know, actually Alona was out of the country. July 2nd today is the day she got her install in, and she now owns her electricity. So congratulations,
Thank
Alona.
you.
She now owns her power.
Awesome.
Cool.
Whee!